Hey, what's up? Welcome back. I want to take a moment to thank you all so much for your positive feedback that you shared on the last video. Thanks to you, I have tons of ideas for future content, topics I want to touch on, and ideas I want to share with you. Today, I'm going to share some more ideas, so grab your journal and let's take some notes. Before I get started, I just want to get a couple of things out of the way. If you're new to this channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Leonardo Del Gallo, and I'm just a dude that is obsessed with Leonardo Da Vinci at the moment. For the last couple of months, I want to say, I've been looking into how he took notes and why he took notes, and I've discovered some pretty awesome stuff, and I'd like to share those things with you in hopes that you'd pick up a couple of pens and a notebook and you start journaling and taking notes of your own so you can be your own little version of genius, if you will. All right, now that we've taken care of that and you've hit the subscribe button, let's get started. With 2026 upon us now, a lot of us are taking a notebook and we're saying, hey, you know what, this year I'm gonna set some goals, I'm gonna change my life, new year, new me, things are gonna be different and all that other stuff, which is great. I'm not knocking it, I'm not making fun of it, but everybody is tuned in to the same radio station, and I want things to be slightly different for you. I want whatever goal you set for yourself to stick, and I want you to change your life and be the best possible version of yourself that you could possibly be. That's the goal, and if you're in, then keep watching. Before we put pen to paper, I'd like to talk to you about perspective. We all have it, and it's different for me than what it is for you. Your needs and your desires are completely different from my needs and my desires. What I want isn't what you want. And because what you need and what you want and what you desire are different from what I want, need, and desire, then obviously your goals and how you approach life is going to be completely different than how I approach it. And having said that, I want to point out a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind when you pick up your journal and start writing. Part one is inner and outer world. There are two worlds that we live in. We obviously live in the world that you and I share, and then each one of us has our own individual private world that happens right in here, right in your noggin. And that world is so complex. It has a lot of emotions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of beliefs and ideas and concepts about oneself and about the world. And so briefly, I want to talk to you about the inner world. You have four aspects of your inner world. That is your physical body. That is to say, everything that happens, skin and bone organs, everything that's happening inside of you physically. The second is your mind. Every thought, every idea, everything that you create with your imagination, it's all a part of that world. The third is your emotions, how you feel about things. And that obviously has a spectrum of good feelings and bad feelings, strong feelings, weak feelings, and all that. And finally, the fourth is spiritual, your spiritual being. Now, before you click away, I'm not talking about religion. I'm not going to touch on religion. I'm talking about you, who is sitting in the center of everything that happens internally, your thoughts, your emotions, and how you're feeling physically. Your consciousness, if you will. The you that is watching the coming and going of all these things that I just spoke about. In future videos, when I talk about your inner world, all of that is found in the inner world. The second part of this is the outer world, and that is obviously the people in your life, your community, the world around you, your business, your work, your environment, nature, all of that. That's a whole separate world, and both of those things affecting one another. All right, so now would be a good time to take pen to paper, and I want you to set a few goals for yourself, keeping everything that I just said in mind. The easiest to do is the outer world. What do you want for yourself in the outer world? What are some goals that you'd like to achieve in the outer world? Do you want another job? Do you want more money? Do you want something materialistic? And I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, like, do you want a new car, a new house, a certain watch? Do you want to dress differently? Do you want a new camera? Do you want a new desk? Think about what it is that you want in the outer world. And to make it easy, set 3 goals for yourself. For example, I'd like to get myself out of my credit card debt. I'd like to get a family truck, a new car, and I'd like to take a trip to Joshua Tree, my favorite place in the world, so I can spend the night underneath the stars and just revel in the view. Those are my 3 outer goals. So think about it and make yourself 3 goals. That's it, just 3 outer goals. Now let's take a look at the inner world, and let's look at those 4 aspects that I just talked to you about. I want you to set 1 to 3 physical goals. And don't say that you want to lose weight. That's too vague. I want to give my body more water. I want to eat better. I want to do 10 push-ups a day. I want to go for a walk. Maybe it's to improve my knees because I have achy knees. Or maybe, as you can see, my posture is crap. So I'd like to maybe do some push-ups to improve my posture. Just 1 to 3 goals. That's it. Now, the emotion department. Set 1 to 3 goals to improve your emotional well-being. Do you find that you get angry often? Do you find that you're sad often? Or maybe you find that you don't have enough happy experiences and you'd like to give yourself some happy moments, some happy memories? 1 to 3 goals. emotionally speaking. Next, your mind. Set 3 goals to help yourself out mentally. Would you like to read more? To improve your language? Would you like to improve a skill maybe? Learn how to play guitar, learn how to play drums, learn woodworking, for example. I'd like to really work on my woodworking this year and my guitar chords. I don't know, maybe some meditation, bring myself a little bit more peace. 1 to 3 goals for your mental well-being. And lastly, spiritually speaking, and this is where a lot of people get lost, because does that mean go to church? For you, it might. Maybe you'd like to go to church more often and give yourself a little bit more of spiritual peace. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. But maybe you're not religious and you'd like to understand what it's like to be human, be a better human being, whatever that means to you. Could you be more kind to other people? Set 3 goals. Be kind to more people. Be patient with more people. Make more donations. Donate more of my time and resources if I'm fortunate in that way. How can I be better to my fellow man and women? 1 to 3 goals. That's it. You could go further if you want and do more goals if you'd like, but 1 to 3. Take it easy. Start easy. All right, now that we have some ideas, let's talk about perspective. How are you going to approach journaling about these things and accomplishing these things? It's all about your attitude and your perspective, your point of view. And for that, I have 5 points that I'd like you to keep in mind when you're working on these things, okay? And before I get to those 5 points, I want to remind you, Leonardo da Vinci was great at one thing and one thing only, and that is keeping his curiosity wide open. The thing that made him a genius, in my humble yet accurate opinion, is that he was interested and curious about everything, and he did not limit himself to just one thing. He didn't say, I'm a painter and I'm a paint, or I'm an architect and I'm just going to work on architecture, or I'm an inventor and I'm going to invent things. I am a scientist and I'm going to experiment with things. He didn't limit himself to any of those categories. He was open and curious about all of them. And because he was curious about everything, he became knowledgeable in all of these categories, and we consider him a genius for that today. And what I'm saying is that you too can be a genius if you remember these 5 things, these 5 very important things. 3 of these things I've learned from Leonardo da Vinci, and the other 2, I just added it as a rule for myself to continue to be curious about these things. You ready? The first is observe. When you're engaging with the world, make observation. Be very careful in your observation. Number 2, make note of your observation. What did you see? How did you feel about what you saw? What thoughts emerged out of what you saw? Make note. Number 3, and this is important because a lot of us skip this part, and that is to reflect on what you wrote and what you observed. Reflect. Look back at your notes and see what you wrote and see how accurate it is, and see if anything else arises from a second look at it. Number 4 is to modify. Maybe I'm not looking at it right, so I need to change the way that I'm looking at it. Maybe that feeling is incorrect, so I need to modify how I felt about it. Or maybe I'm working on a project, I'm building something, or I'm working on a guitar chord and I realize my finger's not right. I start modifying and changing the position of my arm and my wrist and all that, and I modify, which means small growth, small tiny little improvements. And finally, number 5, repeat. Start all over again. Observe, make note, reflect, modify, repeat over and over and over again. If you keep this in mind, you'll be journaling like Leonardo da Vinci. Continuously learning, continuously observing, continuously asking questions, answering those questions, and asking more questions, going deeper and deeper and deeper into it. So to recap, number 1, there's 2 worlds, the outer world and the inner world. Set goals for your outer world and set goals for your inner world. Number 2, be curious about everything. And number 3, observe, make note, reflect, modify, and repeat. 2026 can be and will be the year that changed everything for you. And that's completely up to you, but it can be the year that really changed everything in your life, that improved everything in your life. Because instead of trying to make these big changes, you took it step by step, one small improvement day by day. You owe it to yourself to be better. Not better next year, not better 5 years or 10 years from now. Better now. So grab a pen and paper and be better now. Go on. Go away. Read some books.